Okay, sorry in advance for the wind. Just how it is today. So I had some batteries that I had salvaged from another situation, and I opened one of them up and it looked really great, just beautiful inside. So I thought I really wanted to try and save these batteries for recycle. So I whipped this up today. It was a holiday and I thought may as well work on something. So I have one 450 watt panel, and I set up these batteries in this little box. I'm sorry it's sunny. I have to get to game night, so I have to shoot this video right now. So what I've got is a 200 amp circuit breaker and 2 terminal blocks and a small 10 amp fuse for a tank heater. So we'll see how that works out. It has its own onboard thermostat, so it ought to be able to turn itself on and off if cold weather happens. So I've got the fuse just through the terminal block here, just so it's easy to get to. I may disconnect that heater for some reason, and this is the circuit breaker for the output of the box. And all 3 12-volt batteries are in parallel, and each one of them has its own disconnect, so you can disconnect the batteries themselves if you wanted to work on stuff over there. And then I made a jumper here. I have a 175 amp Anderson connector that I'm going to put on there since I'm tired of this thing sitting where it's sitting. And then I have a single 20 amp outlet here, and the battery cables go into the other box and also PV into the other box. And in the other box I have a 2 kilowatt inverter. It gives a rating of 16.6 amps, and I have a midnight brat, and I wired the brat for 30 amps charging, and it's giving me a charging bulk status light now, so that's really great. And I have a 30 amp fuse on it, and I wish it was a larger fuse, but it may not actually reach its maximum potential. These cables here I was recycling from some older welding cables that had gotten run over by the lawnmower, and they were the bit that I cut off because it had been damaged. But the way I arranged this case, it doesn't actually reach to the little terminal block I put over there. So I put a little splice on it here and extended it down the rest of the way. I guess if you leave your welding cables out in the yard for your friend to run over with the lawnmower after the grass grows up around them, you can't be too fussy about how long the drop is. So I've got the input here into a little somewhat unnecessary terminal block, and then the output to the inverter, and then also the connection to the charge controller. I wish that this fuse was closer to this terminal block, that fuse, that terminal block, because this wire here, pre-fuse, has a 200 amp circuit protection on it, so that's not really ideal, but you know, in machine wiring, that's kind of how it goes sometimes. And then I set the output here into a little single receptacle there, and I got to terminating the end on this wire, and I realized that my weird angled inverter mount design made it such that the plug was sticking up out of the case. So I heat shrinked the plug got rid of the back cap. It's not my favorite, but I want this project to be over with, so I will, you know, live with that for a while. Maybe I'll get a different plug for it. It's not ideal, but these MC4s, I bulkheaded them through the case here, so you can disconnect that. And like I said, I have this Anderson plug, and I will put that on here. So the idea is you can disconnect the two cases from each other and walk away with them. You know, steal them, carry them to some other part of the place where you're working or where you want power. And I believe that they'll be stable outside. I'm going to shut the lid and put a rock on it. And I'm going to put a little nightlight out here and let it run the nightlight for 6 or 8 months, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, I think that that's pretty cool. At least I'll maybe be able to save these cells from the e-waste recycle stream, I guess. And yeah, so it'll be pretty cool. I got the standard reference heat gun here, so get that going. Oh, there she goes. There's no camera. Okay. Enough of that. Heat gun's running. Batteries are charging. Solar panel is laying on the ground. And yeah, I had a thought to integrate this clip into the case here. I was toying with ways to mount it so that the case itself could be the mount for the top edge of the solar panel. So you already had a mount already as soon as you set the case down. And this case has some self-weight, but that case is like, I don't know, 10 pounds. It's not very heavy. So that one won't make a very big ballast to keep the panel from blowing away. So I kind of scrapped this idea for now, but I may come back around to it later. Hot, 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 hot. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool. 2-man can carry this case, no problem. I think it weighs about 50 pounds or something. And yeah, so like I said, I'm gonna put a light on it and we'll see what happens. Well, thanks for watching.